Hey there, hola, ¿cómo estás? Friends and amigos, compañeros del mundo, friends and family from all over the world. Yao Fosu, the original Globe Master, back at you. Now, you see me in my car, and obviously, the way I'm dressed, you could tell that I'm back in New York, back in the cold. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about a topic that I saw. And since I recently returned from Ghana, I believe I should speak on it. The title of this video is going to be Africans Abroad Build Funeral Homes. Let me repeat that. Africans abroad, Africans in the diaspora, build funeral homes in their native lands where they come from. Now, before you start throwing stones at my way, I'm not the one that said it. You know who said it? That great man called Vladimir Putin. Yes. Comrade Putin says, us Africans, we build funeral homes. Now, let me quote and unquote exactly what he said. He said Africans abroad, he was talking about Africans in Europe and America. He said, we build funeral homes. We send our children to school in Europe. We eat Chinese food. And we get medical attention in Europe instead of taking care of our own countries. So, we build funeral homes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, is that man right or is he right? I'm not going to say right or wrong. Is he right or is he right? Now, my followers, y'all know I just recently went back home to Ghana with my children. And they had a lovely experience, you know? But I'm also a very observant person. And I noticed that your ambition, your dreams, is not what your children have in mind. Let me repeat what I'm saying. Your dreams and ambitions is not what your children have in mind. Let me start with my own family, okay? We have a big home in Ghana. Actually, it's two homes now. My mother came to America, had me here, sent me back home to Ghana. Possibly the best thing that happened to me. I spent over 10 years in Ghana, lived the life, culture, tons of friends and whatnot. So I am as African can be. Now, growing up in Ghana, I noticed that it is every African's dream or ambition to do what? To build a home back in Ghana. Any African that travel, you are not successful unless you come back home and build a huge house. Now, it's not just Ghanaians that do it. Nigerians do it. Senegalese. Listen, even the East Africans, Kenyans, Tanzanians, Ethiopians, any African that travel to Europe or America, you haven't made it until you go back home and build a house. See, the thing is, our parents and grandparents had this concept which worked for us back in the days as, how would I put it, communal living, which means families can live together in one compound. You understand? my generation and my children's generation, we don't think that way. You understand? Look here. My mother built a house that was 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms in Accra, Santa Maria, right? Now, when she was building it, obviously she did have that concept of communal or family living, which means this is what most of our parents do. They will build a huge house thinking that when her children grows up, they don't have to go through the pains of building their own or whatever. They will think that we will live with them. You know? That's their state of mind. That's how they think. But the thing is, by the time I was 30 years old, I went to Ghana. I saw my mom's house, even though it's a beautiful house. I saw it as it's old-fashioned and I need to build my own. So, of course, my mom hooked me up, actually bought a land for me. And I started building. I was going to make it a very simple house. Build a two-bedroom house with a nice compound where you could park your vehicle and whatnot. That was my intention, right? I started it. I built the plan that was designed for me. I built it to what is called the lintel. The lintel is what is called, basically anybody that knows about building in Ghana, when you build over the window, it's called the lintel. I built the house to that level, right? And then I found out the contractor, the man that was building my house for me, was not just ripping me off. He was tearing me a new a-hole. If you can understand what I mean. He was tearing me a new one. I came to find out this man was using my money to build, listen to this, not for his family, but for his side chick, a house with my money. So if I send money for him to buy 1,000 blocks, 500 of that blocks will go to my project, and another 500 will go to his girlfriend's. Oh my goodness. Listen, I should have listened to my mom when she told me to let her take lead on that project. But as a young, dumb man, I wanted to do it on my own. Let me be the scapegoat of that, all right? I lost a lot of money through that project. So when I came to find out the truth, I fired her. I said her. I fired him. I fired him off my project. And pretty much, it broke my will to continue building the house. So what happened was, my old lady took over the project. And as I'm speaking to you right now, that's our present house right now. She has turned it into a 4 bedrooms upstairs. Mine is 2 bedrooms downstairs. It's pretty much like 4 bedroom upstairs, 2 bedroom downstairs for me. And we have a boys quarters and also a house, like a miniature house with a what you call on top. What you call that? A gazebo on top. If you go back into my channel, you can see the video of my house in Ghana. You see what I'm talking about. Let me jump back to the topic, right? I know a lot of people here in America, Ghanaians, I can only speak about the Ghanaians because I'm not Nigerian or Kenyan or whatever, that build massive, massive houses in Ghana, and they're living in a 2-bedroom apartment here in New York. And what hurts me the most is majority of them, by the time they retire to go back home, shortly after retirement, they pass away. Some of them don't even make it to retirement and they will pass away. So basically, they break their back, their sweat and tears and blood gets wasted for nothing, for some useless motherfucker in Ghana to take their house. It happened to my uncle. I have uncles. One of them passed away about 10 years ago. $60 old, he passed on. This man had 2 homes. And I'm not just talking about regular homes. I'm talking about mansions. That's what broke my will to continue building my house. And guess what? The people that are living in Ghana, they're the ones that will enjoy your property for you. You know, I see Africans here that will sacrifice everything to have that beautiful house in Ghana. While they're here, like I said, they will live in a 2-bedroom apartment with, they probably have 4 children. But they live in a 2-bedroom apartment, paying rent. Yet, they'll be sending money back home for the caretaker of the house to enjoy. Recently, this lady was telling me in Ghana, we have this beautiful mansion in our neighborhood. This lady was telling me that the man that owns the mansion has been living in Canada for over 30 years. He built that house, came back home. He's so sick. Listen to this. He's so sick that they have to move his bed from his master bedroom upstairs into the living room, or what they call a hall in Ghana. And because he don't have the strength to go up the stairs to his bedroom, so pretty much he's bedridden. So he's sleeping in the living room, and the person that his family has hired as the caretaker is the one that sleeps in the master's bedroom upstairs. How sad is that? You sacrifice your blood, sweat, and tears to let some, I'm not even going to say useless, but to let somebody else enjoy the fruits of your labor. Look, if you're Ghanaian, Nigerian, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You out here, you punching in at freaking, let me use my job as an example. By 7 a.m. I'll punch in. You got to be there by 6:30, 6:45. Make sure you're not late. By 7 a.m. you punching in. Sometimes I don't get home to 7 p.m. Right? You out there, you killing yourself. You get home, you sleep, you back to work. This is my off day. What do I have to do? Before you blink, it's time for you to get back to work. You killing yourself. You here in America or in Europe, you eating store chicken. You know what your family back home in Ghana is eating? They're eating real chicken. Guinea fowl. You out here or in Europe, you eating tilapia. They over there eating red snapper, enjoying life. You killing yourself in the cold. And they're out there enjoying it. And by the time you think you're ready to go home, you're going home sick. Sick as a motherfucker. If you're going to wait till retirement, you're working 5-6 days a week. I know some people that have 2 jobs, working damn near 16 hours a day out of 24 hours. They will sacrifice their body, their strength to go build a house. Let some jackass in Ghana or Nigeria live in that house. And the shit that pissed me off the most, I remember a couple of years ago when my mom was here. My mom is retired now. She's living in Ghana. Every Sunday, I used to go to my mom's house to eat fufu. That was my thing. I remember one time I went to my mom's house on a Sunday. I'm waiting for my fufu. My mom's phone rang. She's talking to extended family back home. And the phone happened to be on speaker, so I could hear everything they were saying. So they spoke for a while, and then the guy said, "Oh, auntie, the water pump has broken, so now we have to go outside and buy water because we cannot get water from the water tower." Bro, I was so quick to snatch the phone off my mom's hand. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I grabbed the phone and I said, "Hey, listen, how long have you been living in my mom's house?" This dude, family, has been living in my mom's house. I'm talking about the old house. Has been living in my mom's house for over 10 years. Raised children. Not paying a fucking dime on rent. I'm paying $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment here in Brooklyn, New York. This fool lives there with his wife and 3 children in my mom's house. Not paying a dime. And when something breaks in the house, he will have the nerve to call my mom. I snatched the phone from my mom's hand and I said, "Listen, she's not going to send you a fucking dime. You've been living in that house for how long? And she has to send you money to pay for something that you using?" By the way, they're out of the house now. That house is on the market. Alhamdulillah. Thank God. Finally. The worst thing you can do as an African living in Europe or America is build a house and leave it, especially with family, to take care of it for you when you're not ready to go back yet. They will screw you up. I remember some time ago, I went back home to Ghana, and let me tell you something. Anytime I go to Ghana, I learn something new. If you live in Europe or America, you have no life. They, back home, they are living. You have no life here. They live. Okay? You send somebody money back home in Ghana, they dress well, they eat well, they enjoy life, and even give some of your money to that motherfucker calling himself a pastor. The biggest thieves. Our old house, my mom's house in Accra, we used to have this. I'm so glad we moved out of there, bro. We used to have this this church behind our house. And once a week, they have, I think it was a Wednesday, they have something called all night. A church that goes on all night. Now, remember how I went to Ghana. And one of them nights, these people, and if you know church in Ghana, it's not just a church, it's like a nightclub. Big speakers and drums and listen, these people, I will call it a party, no worshiping. Okay? So anyway, I went to sleep. I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning. This thing is louder. This church is actually louder than it was when I fell asleep, like around 10. So I woke up my cousin. Went and knocked on his door, woke him up. I said, bro. Oh, I turned into a Karen. If you know what I mean by a Karen. I turned into a Karen. I said, bro, let's go over there because I need to speak to this motherfucker. This gotta stop. My cousin woke my mom's up. And they're like, no, you cannot go there. They will call you the devil. I'm like, what? They will call me a devil. They said, yeah, you cannot do that. We are used to that noise. If you cannot sleep, you know, come. My mom was like, come sleep in my room. Over here, the noise it's not loud. I said, no. I want to sleep in my own motherfucking room. Why should I be disturbed because of these people? They was like, no, you cannot go there. So, you know, they took some sense into me. I realized I was being a Karen. So I stopped. I barely slept a wink that night. The next morning, my cousin likes to clean the front of the yard and this and that. So I'm standing over there with him. And I saw this young guy come in. When I say young, he's younger than me. This young guy come in with his wife behind him. The wife is pregnant. So my cousin said to me, oh, this is the motherfucker that be making all that noise. He's the pastor. I said, really? So I'm standing in front there, just waiting on him. He gets to the front of our house. He said, good morning. I said, good morning. So I said, listen, you the pastor behind us? He said, yeah, praise the Lord. I said, kiss my ass, praise the Lord. Do you know I can't sleep because of you? Yo, my cousin was holding on to me because I was about to straight up punch him in the mouth. I said, listen, it's very obvious that you get to sleep, right? You got your wife pregnant. That means you are sleeping real good. And somebody over here, I cannot sleep because of you. Anyway, you know, my cousin broke it up. Guess what? The next day, I went out with a couple of friends. I came back home and my cousin was like, hey, do you know you are the devil now? And I was like, what do you mean I'm the devil? He said, well, that day, that pastor's sermon was all about you, indirectly. He was saying that anybody that cannot sleep because of church is the devil, this and that. Yo, I was dying. I was laughing. I was like, really? I'm the devil because I approached him about him making noise in the middle of the night. Yo, if you are sending money back home to these people, they are giving it to criminals like this. Recently, when I went back home, my cousin, I was talking to my cousin, and he was like, hey, do you remember your pastor friend? I'm like, yeah, who? The guy I wanted to punch in the mouth? He said, yeah. He said, guess what? He's driving a Range Rover now. You hear this? He's driving a Range Rover. That old church is still back there behind our old house. He's driving a Range Rover now. What work has he done to have a Range Rover? It's all from the money poor people are giving to him. And sometimes it's money coming from you. Look, this video is getting kind of long. All I gotta say is, your dreams and your ambitions is not the dreams and ambitions your children have. If you build a humongous house back home in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Senegal, wherever you're from, right? You can only sleep in one room. Your children, they have their own dreams and aspirations. And that's the truth. Look, I didn't want to live in my mom's house. I shouldn't have built anything. I wanted to have my own. My children, I just went with them to Ghana. As beautiful as our house is in Ghana right now, were they impressed? Yes. But do they have any aspiration to live there? I doubt it. I doubt it, because they are Americans. They don't see themselves living there. Some of the biggest mistakes people make is building homes in Ghana or anywhere back home. You build a huge mansion thinking your children will want to live in them houses. They don't. They have their own dreams. They don't want to live there. It's just like living here. You are the biggest dumbass if you're building a house, or you have a built house in Ghana or Nigeria or wherever, and you are paying mortgage over here. Because you are going to be stuck with that mortgage. As soon as your children grows, they don't want nothing to do with you and that mortgage. My best friend, Kevin, West Indian guy, mother bought a house. If you see his mom right now, that old lady could barely walk, but she's still working. Why? Because Kevin is not going to help him. Kevin is not going to help her pay a mortgage. He got his own dreams. He moved into his own apartment. Once your children grows, make enough money to be on their own, if you have a mortgage, you on your own. They don't care. They do not care. Stop sending all your money back home to ungrateful people. Stop eating tilapia. Tilapia is a sponge. It's not a real fish, because that's what you can afford here. Stop eating freaking grocery store chicken. Eat well. Spend some money on yourself. If you want to be like me, travel the world. Live. Don't kill yourself here. And if you are lucky, you get to retire and your home becomes a funeral home, because as soon as you get home, you're going to die. And your freaking house is going to become a funeral home. Take my advice on this. I've seen it so many times. Go into my channel and watch. I took my children for a little walk around our new neighborhood. You won't believe the kind of houses some people have put there. Super mansions. Guess what? It's not even a developed area yet. Super mansions. Guess what? 9 out of every 10 houses that you saw over there, the owners of those houses are either in America, Canada, Europe, or somewhere busting their ass while some idiots get to enjoy those beautiful houses. Listen, I know as Africans, we are ambitious people. There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. But damn it, do not kill yourself for some jackass back home to enjoy. Live. Live a little. That's all I got to say. All right? My name is Yafusu. If this is the first time you're coming upon my channel, check out my other videos. I'm not the ones that be begging people to subscribe to my channel or whatever. I don't give a crap. I've never made a penny of YouTube and never will, and I don't give a shit about that. I just speak the truth. All right? Take care of yourself. God bless, and cheese ears.